Good morning. At least it should be morning. If I drop this video correct, which should be Saturday morning, but if it's not, we ain't tripping off that too much, man. About to check out 3 true elevator horror stories animated by Ayamar Scary Tales. I got a strange feeling. I would say at least 2, I say at least 1 out of 3 of these stories are about to be loosely based or based off a true story, man, because recently I've seen a few elevator stories that trip me the hell out. But either way it go though, about to check out the video. Hey, you want to check out the original? The link will be in the description below. But let's go.
It gives me goosebumps to recall that dark and stormy night. The weather was at its worst. I was on my way to a party in Madison with my best friend. The weather forecasts called for severe thunderstorms, but we refused to miss our long-awaited trip. We all piled in my car for a 6-hour drive. The first few hours were fine, just raining and seldom lighting. Then the typical thunderstorm started. The kind where you look down at the lines on the road so you don't end up in a ditch since you can't see anything else. Once, when the lightning flashed, my friend Zen swore he saw a tornado in the cornfield in the distance. We finally gave up and pulled under a bridge until the rain let up enough for us to see. We waited 20 to 25 minutes and then drove a few miles through the storm. The rest of the trip was drizzle, and that post-thunderstorm fog made driving impossible. There were hardly any other cars on the interstate since most people were too smart to be out driving, which added to the creepy feeling. Luckily, we had found a little motel a 20-minute drive away that was dirt cheap. It was 3 stories tall and with no interior hallways. All the rooms were accessed from the outside. Unfortunately, the cheapest rooms were on the 3rd floor and the elevator needed to be in order. The owner had put up a signboard right next to it. Checking into the motel in the middle of the night was interesting. It was still foggy and drizzling out, but humid and hot. There were only 2 to 3 other cars in the damp parking lot. The only lights were from the lobby and the street lights. We walked inside and no one was at the desk. After ringing the bell for about 15 minutes without a response, we called the motel from my friend's cell phone. An older man answered and soon approached the desk from the back room. We tried to negotiate a first-floor room since they were not busy. He was a jerk, though, and kept saying, "They're booked." There were 2 to 3 other cars there. Indeed, some rooms on the first floor had to be available. Exhausted,
I'm gonna let the eyes play. They could actually be booked. Maybe people walked to the motel, you know? It's worth the walk. Oh boy.
They're booked. There were 2 to 3 other cars there. Indeed, some rooms on the first floor had to be available. Exhausted, we took our 3rd floor room and prepared to drag our suitcases up 3 flights of outside stairs in the drizzle and heat. As we left the lobby, the old man called out to us, "Lock your doors. Don't answer them after dark." He went back into the back room and slammed the door. God, that creeped me out. We unloaded the car in the foggy, dark parking lot and dragged our luggage to the stairs. We all saw the elevator as we came around the back of the building. The out-of-order sign was gone, and the doors were open. The light in the elevator was the only light source in the entire back of the building. It seemed like something good finally happened to us on the trip. The elevator worked, and we didn't have to carry our things up those slippery stairs. I remember thinking it was weird that the doors were open. Didn't elevator doors usually stay closed until you push?
Nah, the fact that it's a motel alone, I'm not getting on that. Also, under these weather conditions as well, we just saw a tornado and we know it's lightning. Not about to get on that. And then we also saw it was recently out of order, but just so happened to be working now. Yep, I'm good. I'll take these little 3 flights of stairs. That is not that many.
That the doors were open. Didn't elevator doors usually stay closed until you push the button? Whatever. It was better than stairs. We loaded our luggage and got in. I pushed the button for the 3rd floor and the doors started to close. The doors were standard elevator doors, and right before they closed all the way, words appeared. Written in red paint or marker on the far side of the elevator doors so that it was only visible when the door closed, it said, "Stay in." Dude, what the hell? Zen said, looking worried. I assured him it was just red paint and a silly kid prank. The condition of the motel screamed about sketchy people in danger, but that was our only option, so we made it up to the 3rd floor and checked into our room. It was a big room with 3 single beds, more than we could have asked for that night. I went to wash my face, but turned on the tap. Murky, ironclad water came out of it. Ugh, yuck, that stinks. Shut up, Zen. Be grateful to have a roof over your head. We were all tired, so
this
we
ain't one of those moments. Hell no.
Glad water
it's
came
nasty.
out of it. Ugh, yuck, that stinks. Shut up, Zen. Be grateful to have a roof over your head. We were all tired, so we immediately threw ourselves onto the beds. My friends were snoring, yet I struggled to sleep. The writing on the elevator door kept flashing in my mind. After struggling for a few more minutes, I heard the elevator ding. Who's coming up at this hour? I came to the door and placed my ear on it. I heard nothing. I looked at the dim, antique brass door handle. I slowly put my right hand on the handle and turned it. The door creaked open, and I quickly peeked out of the slightly open door. I saw a silhouette. It looked like a person. I couldn't make much out of it. All I saw was a tall, lanky, black silhouette standing beyond my hallway. It was not taking anything or doing anything. It was standing there. It made it so much more creepy. It's standing perfectly still. The elevator sound again appeared, and the doors started to slide. The elevator's light hit the hallway, and I saw the man. He stepped inside the elevator facing his back to me, and then he turned to the front. I will never forget the grin on his face. But that wasn't the only disturbing thing about him. He was holding a woman's head by her long black hair. The woman's mouth was half open with her eyes wide in fear of death. We watched each other silently, and then the elevator doors closed. Locking the door, I came back to the bed. I woke up my friends. I don't care if they believed me, but I forced them to leave the motel. We reported to the cops about the motel and the owner, but never got any follow-up. Years later, I learned in the news that a famous serial killer was arrested at that same motel. He cut his victims.
This one ain't about to be real, but this one good.
Follow-up. Years later, I learned in the news that a famous serial killer was arrested at that same motel. He cut his victim's head off and then sneaked out the body in plastic wrap to dump in the lake.
Elevator trap.
It's been roughly 18 hours since the elevator stopped, and I don't know what to do anymore. I was heading to my apartment on the 9th floor and got trapped in this hellhole. Several times, I've contacted the 24/7 service number printed on the inside of the elevator, but they're no help. Neither are my parents, nor the police. I got into the elevator on a Friday night, thinking this weekend will give me some more time to relax. I watched the number plates change. Everything was fine until the 6th floor. But right on the 7th, a sudden jerk took place. Ah!
Damn.
I grabbed the corner walls for support, and then the elevator stopped. It took a minute to realize I was stuck in an elevator, but once I did, I started panicking. I pressed the emergency button, but nothing happened. I checked my phone, which had no network. I looked at the CCTV camera and waved my hand. Hello? Help! The elevator's stuck! I sat down on the elevator floor. Worries started to hit me. Tomorrow is a Saturday. The cleaning guy took off for this weekend, which means he will be here on Monday morning. How am I gonna get out of this? I jumped and started banging my fists on the elevator door.
Oh, my poor little heart, dog. I ain't gonna lie, that one did kind of hit me in the feels because I tried not to think about it, but when I'm on elevators, I'm like, man, what if this mud just stop, boom, and nobody know I'm on here and I'm just stuck for days? Or if the mud just drop. Even though I heard if that half of you posted just lay down or some issue, whatever, but yeah, this one sucked. Monday till Monday.
The cleaning guy took off for this weekend, which means he will be here on Monday morning. How am I gonna get out of this? I jumped and started banging my fists on the elevator door. Hello? Can anyone hear me? I'm stuck in here! Please help! The doors were so tightly closed that I couldn't hear any sound outside. Slowly, I started sweating. I began biting my nails while thinking of ways to escape this purgatory. The closed environment started to make me claustrophobic. I got rid of my tie and unbuttoned my shirt to breathe correctly. Wiping the sweat off my forehead, I sat down again. I don't have any food or water, and if no one comes to my rescue tonight, I might have to be here till Monday morning. I looked above and saw the vent. I tried jumping to reach the top of the elevator, but my height wasn't enough. I started sweating even more. I could hear my lungs rising higher and higher to catch a breath. I can't waste my energy like this. The feeling of being trapped inside an elevator gradually took over my mind. Am I gonna die in here? It's possible, right? The scarcity of oxygen and water can kill me, no doubt.
For real, does that exist though? I've never thought about it. Is there cases out there or people who have been reported dead just because they were stuck in the elevator and they themselves panicked, lost air or whatever, dog? Because once he was in there, I ain't gonna lie, I got to thinking the same thing. Like, yo, can someone legit panic that crazy? And you're stuck in there, and those walls will feel like they're getting smaller and smaller. So I don't see the situation getting better unless you just know how to calm your damn mind down, which when you're panicking is hard as hell. Hey, for real though, this one getting my anxiety
dying
up,
here?
Dog.
It's possible, right? The scarcity of oxygen and water can kill me, no doubt. It started getting so hot inside the elevator like someone had set a fire from the outside. I could feel my lips tremble, my feet were numb, and I started to pass out. I got onto my knees, holding my neck. I could feel someone was choking me. My vision went blurry, and I don't remember when I fainted. A high-pitched squeaking sound brought me back to my senses. I opened my eyes to see a pair of big black eyes staring back at me. My heart stopped as those eyes never blinked. I jumped in fear, moving straight to the other side of the elevator, and the mouse dropped from my chest. Jeez.
Ain't no damn
almost
mouse.
Gave me a heart attack. My scream scared the mouse and it ran to the hole in the left corner and disappeared. But now I noticed the walls of the elevator. Something bizarre had started to happen to them. There was a big, damp-like mark on the elevator door.
Oh, this one ain't real, but this one about to be good. That's a damn zombie
of the elevator. Something bizarre had started to happen to them. There was a big, damp-like mark on the elevator doors, and a hairy, stringy thing almost like a twig was poking out of it. I touched the damp with my fingers, and a thick black liquid started dripping. The texture of the damp felt disgustingly squashy. What the hell is all this? And then again, I heard the squeaking sound. I thought the mouse was back, so I looked at the hole in the corner, but I didn't see it. I went close to the hole and tried to see what was on the opposite side. At first, it was only darkness. Suddenly, a tongue sprung out from that hole.
Glory
it
hole!
To move like crazy. Ah! What is this? Please help me! Get me out of here! A scary growl could be heard as well. The tongue looked like it belonged to some creature from a terrifying place. Right then, the elevator lights started to flicker. No! No, please! I kept hitting all the buttons like crazy. I just wanted this nightmare to end. I knew if I didn't get out of there, I would eventually go mad forever. Or worst, I might end up killing myself. Losing my mind, I grabbed the tail-like thing poking out of that damped wall.
Actually, this one could be real because it could be him hallucinating, though.
Or worst, I might end up killing myself. Losing my mind, I grabbed the tail-like thing poking out of that damped wall and started pulling it. The more I pulled, the squeaking sound grew louder. The tail came from the wall at one point, making me fall on my back, and thousands of mice started crawling into the elevator. Their dirty smell and soggy, hairy bodies made me nauseous. The sight was straight out of a horror movie. Tons of mice jumped out from the damped wall, filling the closed space like water. Mice were everywhere. They were on my shoes and soon rose to my waist. I was drowning in a sea of plagued mice, and my screams were dying down in my throat. Help! Somebody! I don't want to die in here, please! Someone call the cops! When the army of mice reached my neck, I felt their teeth on my skin. They were biting me off like ants finishing a sugar cube. Ah! Ah! Stop! Stop! I began picking each mouse and throwing it away as far as possible, but they didn't stop. I screamed for one last time and fainted. When I woke up, I heard the ambulance. 2 men were taking me out on a stretcher. An oxygen mask was covering my face, and I saw the daylight shining on my face. I stayed in the hospital for a week due to severe dehydration and low blood pressure. The cleaning guy found me in the elevator Monday morning.
Damn.
I was trapped inside the elevator for more than 40 hours. Though there were no wounds or bite marks on my body, that invasion of the mice still haunts me to sleep. My doctor said I suffered major hallucinations and panic attacks due to the claustrophobic environment. I still get goosebumps thinking how real it all was, even if none of it made any sense. I don't think I'll ever feel safe inside an elevator again. The story you just saw is a fictional representation of the trauma lived by a man who spent 41 hours trapped inside an elevator. In 1999, Nick White was 34 with a home, a beautiful girlfriend, and a great social life and a good job. But all that was about to change when he got trapped in an elevator without food or water. Working late one Friday evening, Nick left office to smoke a cigarette outside. Once he'd finished it, he walked back into the building. He got into the lift and pushed the button on the...
And I hope he sued the shit out their ass and won hella money, because this sounds like the type of company that, all right, everyone goes home for the week because it seemed like no one used the elevator over the weekend, whatever. So if that's the case, you should have security or whoever, they're the last one to leave, right? They should be checking all these damn cameras, because it seemed like we got cameras, dog. So like they should have been checking the damn camera to make sure, all right, ain't nobody here, boom, check these bathrooms, ain't nobody here, blah, blah, blah. We did a thorough check, now we get up out of here. No, if he was still in here, that means ain't nobody checked that mug. Obviously didn't nobody come to it. Hell yeah, I hope he's sued. That's some bullshit, man. That sounded so traumatizing to hear. Like, I'm stuck in here, dog, to the point where I'm hallucinating. This story sounded so much like a scary movie that I was like, no, this is not about to be real. But then it hit me like, yo, the fact that this is real is even more scary, because it's someone's reality, dog. Let me go back real quick, dog. And I know not physically reality, mentally still, which is scary as hell.
Inside an elevator again. The story you just saw is a fictional representation of the trauma lived by a man who spent 41 hours trapped inside an elevator. In 1999, Nick White was 34 with a home, a beautiful girlfriend, and a great social life and a good job. But all that was about to change when he got trapped in an elevator without food or water. Working late one Friday evening, Nick left office to smoke a cigarette outside. Once he'd finished it, he walked back into the building. He got into the lift and pushed the button. On the way up to his floor, he felt a jolt, and the lights dimmed for a second. Nick White soon realized that the elevator had stopped. He rang the emergency bell, the first thing anyone would have done. He waited for a while for someone to answer, but no one did. The more time passed...
Damn, as you can see in some of the frames, he's trying to keep calm, keep his composure, because like we always hear, what you're supposed to do in that situation is, try to stay calm. So that way you don't use all your energy or panic or whatever. Man, when you really know situations, you can try it. Hopefully your brain remember to do it, but shit is hard for real when you're in them situations. It's easier said than done. Yeah, this one fucked up, dog.
Nick White soon realized that the elevator had stopped. He rang the emergency bell, the first thing anyone would have done. He waited for a while for someone to answer, but no one did. The more time passed, the more the horrifying thought of dying in that closed space reigned his mind. 2 days in an enclosed space without food or water is an incredibly long time to be imprisoned. The CCTV footage of that night went viral, and Nick eventually filed a lawsuit against the managing committee.
Good. Shit, did he win it? What happened? Unreal elevator.
When I returned from work, I saw a cop car parked under my building. I went in and saw 2 cops talking to the landlord. They looked at me suspiciously and said, "We'll be back for more." The cops left and I asked the landlord, "Is everything all right?" He scratched his head in confusion and gave me bizarre news. One of our tenants, named Marcus, went missing today. He was last seen taking the building elevator from the ground floor. His apartment was on the 9th, but before he could reach there, he just disappeared from within the elevator. I was so shocked to hear this that I couldn't grasp the landlord's words for a moment. "I was checking the elevator footage from last night. Marcus was inside the elevator till it hit the 6th floor, and then on the 7th, he was gone. But how is that possible? It makes no sense." "I can show you the footage I have shown the cops." I went to his office and he showed me this clip of last night. Around 12:30, Marcus got into the elevator. The floors went one after the other, and the elevator suddenly stopped. The visuals suffered a few glitches and the screen went dark. After 3 seconds, the screen turned on, but Marcus wasn't there anymore. My apartment was on the first floor. Telling my landlord to keep updating me on this disappearance case of Marcus, I walked up the stairs. I noticed the normal-looking old elevator from the corner of my eye and felt shivers.
I ain't gonna lie to you though, it's not the whole he just came up missing that's tripping me out part. Is I feel like something sketchy happened if this one about to be real, because the camera just so happened. I get it, it's technology. Sometimes it's just F up on the wrong damn time. But it just so happened to mess up right as he disappeared. Oh, okay.
I noticed the normal-looking old elevator from the corner of my eye and felt shivers. How could a person just vanish like that? He was right there on the 6th floor, and after that malfunction, it was just the empty elevator on the 7th. I got inside my apartment, showered, and had dinner. Even though I was exhausted, but I still struggled to sleep. That was the moment I realized. It's been 11 months I've been living here now, but not once I availed the elevator. I looked at the clock. It was 12:30 night. Yesterday at this time, Marcus went missing. I never talked to Marcus much, not like he was a talker anyway. We mostly said hello whenever we came across each other in the lobby. He would smile awkwardly and walk away. I don't know what came over me, but I just couldn't stop thinking about this incident. Dragged down by my curiosity, I ended up leaving my apartment. I walked up to the elevator and pressed the 7th floor. The metal doors closed with a screeching sound and the number plate began to change, but the elevator functioned correctly this time. I reached the 7th floor without any trouble, which surprised me. Once I stepped into the lobby, I felt cold. I've never come to this floor. The lights on this floor flickered like crazy. Some were even burnt out, making it hard to see. I slowly walked up to Marcus's apartment. We came into this building the same day. While filling out the forms in the landlord's office, I remember seeing the number of his apartment, 16. I stopped outside the apartment. Using my phone's flashlight, I saw the door sealed with yellow tape. The cops must have searched his apartment. Should I go in? My hand trembled. Am I doing the right thing? I switched on the light and saw the room as a mess. The closet was open, with clothes on the floor. Bed and linens were turned over till the edge. Jeez! Realizing how crazy I had been, I quickly exited the apartment. I closed the door and rushed into the elevator. I pressed the ground floor and the elevator door closed once again. But wait, why isn't it going down? Oddly, the elevator was just standing on the same floor. What the hell? I pressed the button again, still no movement. And then the elevator made a sudden jerk and started going down. But before the number could change from 7 to 6, the lights inside the elevator went off, and it ultimately got dark. Hello? Anyone's here? I started having a panic attack. I switched on my phone's flashlight, and just then, the elevator light sparked and shattered, splashing droplets of fire above my head. Ah! I covered my face while screaming. I removed my hands, hearing the sound of the door sliding by. In front of my eyes stood this dark space with a small white spotlight in the distance, and under that light stood a man. Yes, a man. He had his back to me. Hello? Help me. Marcus, what are you doing here? Which floor is this? I looked at the number plate and couldn't believe my eyes. It was floor 6.5.
6.5.
Help me, please. Marcus's ominous cry brought my attention back to him. With shaking footsteps, I stepped out of the elevator. The floor beneath my bare feet was so cold. Marcus still had his back on me. Marcus, what's going on? You're scaring me now. Marcus! I took 2 steps ahead, and so did he.
Man, if you don't leave Marcus, dog.
I again took 2 steps, and Marcus did the same. I looked back at the elevator and felt Marcus's head turning as well. But the moment I looked at him again, I saw his back. He was mimicking my every move like a puppet. Stop it! Just turn around. What are you trying to... You must turn around. I turned around and holy smokes, Marcus was now standing right behind me, facing his back at me. I walked towards him screaming, "How did you get behind me so fast?" And he mimicked my footsteps again, walking straight inside the elevator. I stopped in fear as he turned around and said, "I'm sorry. There's no other way."
You gotta swap spots?
No, wait!
I think. There's no other way. Hey, that one was a pretty cool story. That last story was pretty cool, man. I just wanted to know the final outcome, though. Was it now Marcus out in the real world and he returned and the other dude is now missing? Was that the outcome? Also, the second story, the real story, I really want to know the outcome on that one, though. For real, I want to know if he won it. Did he win a lot of money? What happened with that one? Because that one effed me up, dog. Legit. Stuck on the elevator for 41 hours. Hey, glad they got him off, man. But either way it go, though, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. Do me a favor, click that like button for your boy. I appreciate you. Also, the Twitch is in the description below as well. Come to the live streams, though, also, but I'm out.